Can you give us an update on the squad situation? Obviously, you had a few knocks the other day, and how big is this game? Just how important is it?
I'll start with David's back in, travelling. Luke is travelling. Edinson and Anthony, they've only minor niggles, but they won't be making the trip. So, and of course, you get to the last game of the group stage, and you're in the next round if you go and win that game, or you get a draw. So it's an important game, of course it is.
And a question for Harry, if I can. You've shown your character in comeback wins away from home in the league. You're obviously not going to want to go behind this time, but that character is going to be vital tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah, we've shown great character, obviously, to come from behind in all these away games this season in the Premier League. So we're going to need the character, the spirit, the confidence going into the game tomorrow against Leipzig team, who are very good at home, but we have great beliefs in ourselves that we can go there and get the result required to go through to the knockout stages, and that's what we're aiming to do.
Simon Stone. Simon,
sorry, Ollie. Could you just talk to us about Mason Greenwood, please? I mean, obviously there was a lot said about him earlier in the season for various reasons, but the goal that he got on Saturday was outstanding and a reminder of what he can do.
Yeah, Mason's a very talented forward. He's one of the best finishers I've worked with. And when we can provide chances for him, or he creates chances for himself or with his movement, of course we've got a good chance of scoring goals. He's still young, still learning, and he'll only improve with the quality and experience and the characters that we have around him, in and around the team. And so it's exciting to work with him.
And Harry, can you explain the inconsistency of Manchester United this season? Even during a game, you seem to go from not very good to being absolutely brilliant.
The inconsistency in terms of results in the Premier League, we've been consistent of late, so we're not really focused on the inconsistency. I think obviously you might be talking about falling behind and coming from behind, but apart from the West Ham game, which the first half we didn't play well enough in, we've actually started the games really well. If you look back at Southampton and Everton, we played well in the first moments of the game. We just conceded at bad times and conceded bad goals, really. A lot of set plays, which we need to tighten up on and things, but we're working hard, and the consistency has been a lot better of late. The PSG game, we took a lot of positives from that game. We felt like we deserved something from the game. And we're going to tomorrow's game confident. We're ready. We feel prepared, and the boys are ready to go.
Dave McDonald.
Hi, it's a question for Ollie and then Harry for a player's perspective. These are kind of games where, with so much at stake, you expect your big players to step up and show why they're Manchester United players and show they've got the mentality to deliver on the big stage with so much at stake.
Of course, knockout games or games like this that mean if you can go through or not, they're big. And the players are here, they're Man United players because they have qualities that we've looked for, and I'm sure that tomorrow night will prove that that's the reason why they're here. They will show it. I think the character, the group is getting better and better, and we're looking forward to the game. It's something that we want, games like this. It's some tradition for Man United. We never make it easy for ourselves. Of course, we look at the games as, especially the away game against Istanbul, we could have took 3 points, but that's just the way we do things. We do make it hard for ourselves. That's been ever since I played, and that's a long time ago.
And for Harry as well?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, I joined this club to play in the biggest games possible. So you said your big players, you step up in the most pressured games. So yeah, for sure, I think that's a statement which shows over the years that the big players step up in the big games. It's a bit similar to the game Leicester last year, where we had to go and get a result to reach the Champions League, and we managed to do that, so we'll take great confidence from that. But like I've said, we feel ready, we feel prepared, and we're looking forward to it.
James Cooper.
Yeah, good afternoon. A question to you both. When you've beaten a side like Leipzig so convincingly at home, do you draw on that tomorrow night, or are you just going to wipe it out of your minds and think, we go from scratch here? What's the value of that performance, and that, or is it something that you just ignore?
Well, you can't ignore it. Of course, it's a game that we'll remember fondly because we did many things right, and we need to do lots of things right again. But we should also correct the few wrongs that we had, and we will. We prepared well. We know Leipzig well enough to know that they're unpredictable in their shape or systems. So. But we know the players and the style they play in, so we know it's going to be a very difficult game, tough game that we need to be at our best to get a good result from.
Rob Dawson.
Hi, it's a question for Ollie, if that's okay. In '99, you came through a very, very difficult group with a lot on the line right until the end. If you were to come through this test tomorrow, another difficult group, a game at the end to seal qualification, do you think that could help you going forward with the games that you may have later on in the competition?
The more good opponents you play against, the better opponents, the more used you get used to playing against good teams. And when you get through those games, it'll give you confidence and give us the trust and belief that we've done something right along the way. So we've just got to do our jobs tomorrow first, and that's let's see after that.
Laurie Whitwell.
Hello, question to both, if I may. How much of a factor is the fact that you only need a point in this game? Obviously, a point at Old Trafford would have done it against PSG. Same situation here. How do you approach that game, knowing that that's the context?
Well, I think you've got to approach the game as in it's a 90-minute game. You know that anything can happen in any moment, so you can't sit back and hope for a 0-0 draw. That's not in our genes. It's not in the team's genes. It's not in the club's genes. We want to go out there and win a game of football. I think we showed that against PSG, that we wanted to go out and create chances. You have to create chances to score goals, and we'll do that again.
Yeah, I think I can only reiterate what the manager said. We spoke about it this morning. We go into the game. We want to win the game. We're not going to sit back. We went into the PSG game on another day. We win the PSG game. We created 3-4 very, very good chances to go on and win that game. It wasn't to be, and we take ourselves into the final game of the group where we go there and look to win. We look to win every game we play. So no, for sure, we won't be sitting back.
Neil Justice.
Yeah, in fact, that's one for both, please. Ollie, when you were a player, there was a great part of that team was a knowledge that nothing was ever over, no game was ever lost. Do you see that now with this team? Because there have been so many comeback wins, so many late wins. Do you see the same traits?
Can definitely see those traits coming back and the belief coming back. Of course, that it's also got to do with that belief. And I don't know how many times we've come back and how many goals, from the top of my head now, how many goals we've scored in the last 10 or 15 minutes. But it's a lot. And that's a big difference from last season. We spoke about it at the start of this season, that we need to get that those extra points that can give us. And this season is proven very important so far.
And how much have you seen this team progress, Harry, from your time here? I mean, those of us who watch it regularly, who are all on here, have seen the steady progression going up. Do you feel that?
Yeah, as players, we feel that. From when I first joined the club, I feel like the progression, like you said, has been steady, but we're working up a ladder and we keep improving. I feel like we're getting that consistency in games more. And I think the belief in games where we feel like we can go on and win games is a lot better than it was at when I first joined. I have belief as a defender that we're always going to score goals and create chances because we have so much talent in the team and so many goal scorers in the team. So like you speak about the belief in turning games around when we find ourselves going 1 goal down. It shows great belief and character, but I think it's really important as a defender, and we don't make mistakes to concede the other goal and get done on the counter attack. I think it's really important that we give our forwards the best possibility and the opportunity to go and turn the game around, and they've done it really well in recent weeks.
We've got last 2 questions for James Ducker first, and then Andy Mitten.
Ollie, just following on from Neil's question there, do you think that comeback ability can actually get into the heads of opponents as well, knowing that this lot will never give up? And also, just there's been a few instances where group stages have gone down to the final game before, and you've faced a tough away game, Benfica, Basel, and Wolfsburg. The team all went out. Does your away record, though, give you that extra confidence that you can avoid that fate again this time around?
Yeah, it gives us confidence. I think I played in one. I remember we went down to Rapid Vienna. We had to win the last one, I think, or we won 2-0 in that game. So there's always, through history, it's down to the last game, and we didn't expect when you saw this group to be through before the last game. Of course, we could have done it ourselves before, but we're pleased to get here now and then have this chance. For what anyone else thinks about us, the opponent think about us, I'm not sure. But of course, with the fitness we're getting, with the spirit we're getting, with the pace we've got, of course, it's great for us knowing that we don't give up. The characters getting into the team. I think Man United has a tradition and history, and probably opponents would know about that as well. So, but that's for someone else to answer. We just working hard to get into the people's head that might happen, so they can't switch off.
Andy Mitten.
Question for both of you. How is the Champions League different to the Europa League? What differences do you notice?
You can start.
Well, you play better teams with better players. It's just a fact that if you finish higher in your leagues and you go on to form a tournament with the best teams in the world and the best players in the world. So it's a challenge. It's a challenge that we all want to be involved in, and we haven't even thought about the Europa League. So we're just fully focused on the game tomorrow as a bunch of players, and we're going into it, like I say, prepared, and we're wanting to get through to the knockout stages.
Yeah, I've got to say the same. Of course, you want to play against the best. You need to play against the best to steadily improve. That was a challenge for these boys. Now, of course, for me as a manager, it's last season I had the Europa League to call it to the players who played less. So we rotated more. Of course, that's another challenge for the boys now. They don't get the rest, but that's what it is to be a Man United player. You don't get the free week. You don't get Saturday to Saturday. You play weekend. You play midweek. You play weekend. That's how it is to be a Man United player, and that's what these players needed now. And so far, it's we're getting better and better through all the good opponents, the preparation, the focus is better. You can see everyone's minds are sharper. So it's all pluses, of course, to be in this tournament.
Final question from Paul Hurst for Harry.
Just one for Harry, please. I know it is a difficult group, Harry, but considering the prestige of Man United, do you think it's kind of not acceptable for the club to be getting out of the group stage of a Champions League group?
Well, of course, we expect to go through in the group. Whatever teams you put in our group, any 4 teams, we expect to go through. We expect to go into every game and win the game. That's the tradition, and that's what the club does. And no, I think as a group of players especially, we fully expect to get out of the group. So, like I said, we took it to the last game. We're in a good position. We're confident, and we look forward to the game. And the one thing that we can do is look after the performance, and normally the performance will look after the result, and that's what we're looking to do.
Thank you very much, everybody.
You'll always get that spin on the question anyway.